as Jordana and I discussed, is really incredible about your journey. And, for Jordana and I, the majority of our business is in Alberta. We have a lot of Zoom customers. I think for a lot of my leaders, there's a lot of Zoom energy services. And you're coming from a place where you're in Ontario, right? And for those of you that haven't been a part of ACN for a long time, the service offering in each province is different province to province, first of all. Second of all, sometimes over time, services can arrive in a province and leave a province. They can kind of come and go. And, not everybody in ACN across Canada has the same services available to them. And in Ontario, you guys had some of these situations occur. And I think what you've accomplished promoting to RVP, without having, Zoom energy in your back pocket anytime that you want is incredible. I think it's astounding. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about some of the challenges in maybe not having Zoom or not having every single service that's offered in other places like Alberta.
Well, that's a good question. And I think what I've always done, because if you think about it, you have energy in Alberta, but there's a couple services we have across Canada. We have the mortgages across Canada. We have the cybersecurity across Canada, TELUS and Kudu across Canada. But what I've always done with my business is I tend to work with the services that are of most value to the people, to the customers. And when you're thinking of the customers and what value they're going to get out of it, then naturally what will happen is your partnerships or the people that want to join you in the business and make money off the services or helping other people are going to come with that. So what I tend to do is I tend to focus on the services that give the best value to people at the time. So while TELUS isn't big in Ontario, they have Kudo. And Kudo is something that you can actually get a low cost for, and then you want to promote that. Mortgages, I literally got my own mortgage from myself just the other day. So while you might not look at that service as strongly because you have, the TELUS 5 and you've got the electricity and gas in Ontario without having electricity and gas, then you just want to go to one of the other services. Of course, these two new services coming up are something that everybody's looking forward to, because that's going to be not just across Canada, but both in North America that's going to be available. So that's what I do is I focus on what is the most value to the customer first. And then that, again, migrates into who wants to join me in the business venture.
So that's awesome. I think I want to go even deeper into that. And when you talk about value for the customer, I think probably I'm predicting one thing you probably had to do was you yourself had to then dive into the services, learn about the services, understand those services so you could communicate that value. What I want to give everybody on the call here is a very clear picture of what they need to do, no matter what province they live in, to succeed in this opportunity. And can you maybe describe some of the homework that you've done in learning the services and understanding them, maybe the events you attended or the time or the extracurricular time that you took to become somebody that could actually communicate that value in a way that the customer could hear it and then could convert either to a customer or send you a referral?
I think you guys are a prime example of a perfect example of you want to go to every training you can, and you want to listen to people's language and their posture and how they talk to people. That will give you the confidence. Again, you're selling yourself on you so that you feel comfortable with it. There is a Zoom training actually tomorrow evening being held. I don't know if everybody here on the call is registered for it, but I registered for it, even though I'm very well versed in Zoom energy and how it works. What I've done is I go through the bills, I work out the value, I go to every training that's possible, I attend the international events, I go to the booths and talk to the people who work with Zoom and attend those events. That helps. But the main thing is when I get somebody that I'm working with, a customer or a new business partner, an IBO, what I find is that people don't need to know too much. That the best way they're going to learn is when they get a customer and they actually look at a bill. When you look at a bill, talk to your mentor, talk to somebody else who has looked at a bill, learn how to read the bill and explain it. Once you've learned it, you can explain it to somebody else. Your customer is more likely, always going to sign up with you, because Look at the rate of last resort that just came out. People don't understand what it is they're paying for. They only know if they don't pay for it, they're going to lose their service. They're looking for us. We are a niche market. We're providing that bridge between the impersonal energy companies that really want to make as much money as they can from you. And we're actually explaining things to them, like Lisa explained about making $25 every month by playing games. Those are things you're not going to get in your typical telephone conversation with a clerk. You're going to get that though when you're talking with people as we are, our warm market, where we take on the responsibility of them. If you take on the responsibility of your client, you'll just learn about the service. Okay, does that help, Dom?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love what you talked about in terms of attending every single training, and then even going to the booth. It's simple, nuanced things like that where I find, again, some people, their attendance record might be spotty. And then also when they're attending, they're not thinking to themselves, what can I do to learn more? The kind of mindset that you have, Betty, is somebody that when they attend an event, they're not attending an event sitting back with their arms crossed, kind of waiting to be entertained as though you're watching a TV show. The way I see Betty attending events is that she goes to them consistently, repeatedly, and then at that event, she's hunting down the value. She's hunting down the booth. She's hunting down the leader. She's saying to herself, what can I do better? How can I learn more? How can I understand this better?